wonderful day to each and everyone. I'm your host, Christine Dayan J. De Vera, and welcome to Let's Talk! For today's session, we invited 5 guests to share their perceptions about the questions we prepared for them. Now, without even further ado, let me introduce to you our first guest. Do not invalidate yourself for the sake of others. An inspiring motto coming from our 20-year-old special guest, Ms. Donna Gift M. Basa.
Everyone, thank you for inviting me here.
Hello.
Well, there's nothing new about the two particular matter because we often misunderstand its concept. As nature refers to its biological characteristic, whereas nurture refers to upbringing or life experience in general. In psychological development, both nature and nurture play an important role and interact in a complex ways. The individual differences are not solely attributed to a person's genetic code or environmental development. That would be all.
As we expected from Donna, that was a great answer. Thank you again for sharing your very informative comment. Now, before we proceed to our next guest, let me take this moment to introduce my co-host to take over this interview. Now, before we proceed to our next guest, let me take this moment to introduce to you my co-host to take over this interview. No other than Ms. Donna Gift M. Basa. Moving on to our next guest, you're the designer of your own destiny. A life motto of a 20-year-old student, Miss Christine Jane P. Biscara.
Hello, Ma'am Christine. Welcome to Let's Talk. Feel free and don't wait.
Thank you, Let's Talk, for inviting me here. I am glad that I am one of your guests. It was a great privilege.
How do the additive effects of adverse childhood experiences impact the development?
Well, for me, an early experiences lay the groundwork for our brains, and strengthening the foundation will result in a healthy living learning. Meanwhile, bad experiences such as abuse and neglect can alter the architectures of the brain, it increasing the stress-related ailments such as mental health issues. Young children who have been exposed to trauma are thought to be at a higher risk since their brains are still developing.
Thank you, Ma'am Christine, for sharing your thoughts to everyone, and I totally agree with you.
Everything happens for a reason. A life motto of a 19-year-old student, Miss Maria Arlene J. Reyes.
Hello, Ma'am Arlene. How are you?
I'm great.
So, shall we?
Yeah, no problem.
How is it possible for our genetics to influence our environment and our environment to influence our genetics?
The environment can influence gene expression in an organism, including the outer world in which the organism is located or develops, as well as the organism's internal world, which includes elements such as hormones and metabolism. Meanwhile, drugs, chemicals, temperature, and light are example external environmental stimuli that can influence which genes are activated and which are not, therefore impacting how an organism develops and functions.
Thank you, Ma'am Arlene.
Keep fighting and keep reaching your dreams. A life motto from Miss Freudeline Salingbagan.
Welcome to Let's Talk, Ma'am Freudeline. Shall we start?
Absolutely.
Do you believe if the parents are smart, their offspring will be smart too? Support your
Answer is no, because a person's intelligence is one and the same. A possession or talent is not inherited, but it applied to a person, and it's up to the person if they apply it to themselves. Being smart are able to learn, and it's not hereditary.
That was great. Thank you, ma'am.
Be who you are and not what the world wants you to be. An inspiring motto from Miss Ashley Pauline Toralba.
Hello, Ma'am Ashley. Welcome to Let's Talk.
Thank you.
Okay, here's my question for you. Why is 13 disability categories matter when planning reading interventions?
Understanding the needs of all learners with disability is an essential step in showcasing their educational potential. By means of 13 disability category are not guide only for teachers, also for administrators to easily determine the difficulties faced by each children in terms of reading. Specific students' characteristic allows teachers to have an awareness to learners' needs to be planned, even ensuring the educational outcome of those learners.
And thank you very much, Ma'am Ashi. And that is all for today's episode.
Thank you all for watching.
Again, I'm your host, Donna Basa,
And Christine Dayan J. De Vera.
and this is Let's Talk!